Alright. Is it just me, or am I seeing quite a bit of delay between the two? That shouldn't be too bad. Anyways, both players are going to start with cut first here. This means they're going to have to do a bit of a glitch in elect stage, which is going to be the next stage, so that they can get the magnet beam and use that for the rest of the game. Looks like pretty nondescript stages from both players so far. All right. Awesome. So, yeah, this stage, there's not much to talk about. Mega Man 1 has some interesting movement properties, but they mostly come into play later on. So you'll just kind of see basically like lots of running across the ground and less jumping unless it's necessary, because it's a little bit slower to move while you're jumping than while you're on the ground. But you do want to jump into boss doors, because otherwise you have to start your running animation again, which wastes even more time. Other than that, this is going to be a pretty simple buster fight on Cutman here, and then they'll be going into Elect, which is where the game really kind of begins. So, pretty standard fights from both players here. It's impossible to say who's in the lead right now, but both players look like they had pretty decent Cutman stages, and so let's take a look and see what Electman sends us. Alright, so Electman stage is a very climbing intensive stage, which is kind of obnoxious, especially in Mega Man 1, because Mega Man climbs so slow in 1 and 2. So it can, like, any way that you can speed up this climb, you're pretty much obligated to take, otherwise it's gonna lose a million years. So you see people, like, jumping, a lot of jumping up onto ladders from floors, you know, doing these ladder shots as quickly as possible. You can, like, jump and take a shot and then grab the ladder again, and it's a little bit faster than just shooting while hanging on the ladder itself. There we go, seeing enemy do that a little bit on the left. So here comes this magnet beam grab. Looks like both players are out safely with the magnet beam, which is nice. Looks like we might have had a lead switch here, with enemy overtaking negaZeus with a good magnet grab. Alright, so this boss corridor, another example of climbing with the magnet beam. Sorry, I got a little preoccupied, and so here, so the magnet beam is really great in Mega Man 1. It can help you go over things, it can help you go up, it can help you ascend quickly, like you saw Enemy do there, and it can help you do zips as well, which is going to be the main, like the primary use, honestly, starting soon in this ice stage. Alright, so we got both players down on a lek. So this ice stage, first off, you're going to see the magnet beam used to cross over this lake here. And this is important because you can do it at the full walking speed instead of the reduced walking speed from being underwater. So you'll see that. Here we go. That was a very fine execution of that by Enemy. And we'll see if negaZeus is able to do the same. Here's Enemy doing the next thing. That's like a zip combined with a screen wrap. And now he's going to use it to cross this pit. I don't know if he's going to go for the second screen wrap. No, it doesn't look like he is. Okay. Looks like negaZeus tried, or possibly didn't. I'm trying to look at his magnet. I was kind of preoccupied with the other stream. But it looks like he's just going to opt to go with the Yoku block section. Oh, needing an extra beam here. He's still good on ammo. The big thing is you want to have at least 2 or 3 beams to get across to this center area so you can pick up more ammo. And then use that to cross the rest. So extensive use of select here. That really helps. Sorry. When you press select and pause the game in Mega Man 1, your iframes don't run down, but enemy iframes do run down. And so you can pause the game, wait for the enemy's iframes to run out, and then unpause and repause, and do it all over again. And get incredibly fast boss kills that way. So we got both players through 3 bosses here, heading into their 4th boss, or halfway through in Enemy's case. Here we go. Here's an interesting zip. It's like, I'm not entirely sure what goes on there, but somehow you kind of end up triggering a screen transition in the wrong place. And here's a nice long zip that you're gonna see here from Enemy. Let's see if he's able to nail it. This is a big death point if you're unable to make it. Looks like he's through. Now he shouldn't die in the rest of the stage. These are some interesting strats from negaZeus. I've never seen anything quite like this before. Usually a lot of players will use beam through that whole first half of fire stage, but he used ice. And it seems to have worked for him. Maybe he just doesn't trust himself with the various zips and other beam techniques there. Very standard firefight there for Enemy. And now we're going to have negaZeus coming into this firefight as well, having executed his own zip quite adequately. Alright, so here's Enemy coming into Bomb Man stage. Bomb Man stage is kind of a break stage. Ice and fire stages are pretty tough, but there's not as much going on in Bomb, especially at like an intermediate level of strats. Of course, you can make this game as hard as you like. Alright, so we got Fireman down for negaZeus, and he's going to be coming into Bomb as well. Seeing extensive use of ice here. It's a really good weapon, actually. Freezing enemies in their path, in their tracks, is a very useful power, especially for stuff like the Stompers in Wily 1, although you don't really see that as much in the 46 robot category. Let's see. So he's going to set this long zip up on the ladder. Trigger it. Perfect. Now he's just got to wiggle into the door. You got to make sure you don't zip too far, or you're going to over-zip and die. Again, using the select trick to make this a lot easier. And that's 5 Robot Masters down for enemy. He'll be heading into Gut Stage. Gut Stage, so if you didn't want to get the Magnet Beam early, you would go to Gut Stage first, and you would pick up the Super Arm, which would let you pick up the blocks that imprison the Magnet Beam. But having the Magnet Beam in Gut Stage can be very helpful. For example, it lets you skip this whole lip section here, like you see enemy doing. And then you can also do some zips, and one screen wrap if you're feeling really lucky. I don't know if enemy's gonna go for it. No. No, looks like he's doing some pretty standard strats here. It can be kind of dangerous. You can take a hit, like, right at that screen transition, and then suddenly you're in the damage animation, and if you don't select out of it fast enough, because select cancels your knockback, if you don't select out of it fast enough, you're going to find yourself plummeting to your doom, because there's some spikes there you can't avoid afterwards. Alright, so enemy tried the corridor zips, but unfortunately he wasn't able to line either one up quite correct. So here we see the Magnet Beam with negaZeus as well. He doesn't look like he's trying for any sort of zips or screen wraps. Nothing fancy at all. Alright, so the Guts fight with Bomb kind of sucks. I'll maybe try and talk about it a little bit more as enemy does this flash stage, which is pretty nondescript. So the Bomb fight kind of sucks. You have to really anticipate where Guts is gonna be, and if he jumps the wrong way, it's all over. So here is a good bomb placement from negaZeus, because it catches either jump. Oh no! Oh no! So he killed Guts, but then he zipped back out to the door transition, and now he has to go do the fight again. That's awful. Alright, so he's through. He's golden. We're all good. Alright, so he's into Flashman. So here's this Flashman fight. I didn't quite catch it in time for enemy, but I don't know. It's pretty easy to script, especially if you're playing on normal. Oh, looks like we've got a guest doggy here. Yeah, so this flash stage, you mostly just want to avoid taking too much damage. Other than that, there's no real problems with the stage.
Hey, Fatso.
Hello?
I think you could use a co-commentator.
I would love a co-commentator. How's it going, man?
I am fantastic.
Alright. Awesome. So this is Dark Teryx. He'll be joining me with commentary for the rest of these games.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all set up?
I am, but let's see, you're using the Silent Kitty?
Yes, I am. Alright.
Okay, who's on left, who's on right? Because it doesn't say.
Oh, okay. We got enemy on the left and
Okay.
on the right.
Okay.
Ooh, enemy just slightly overshooting. So that was a good flash fight for negaZeus. Yeah. The keys there, obviously, just keep him in iframes. The Rockman 2 fight, like the difficult fight, is a lot more involved, and I couldn't hope to possibly explain how it works because I can't even do it. But the normal fight is not too bad because he doesn't even get to you if you execute well enough. Here you see enemy traversing these Yoku blocks here, which is going to give him the opportunity later to do fast air because Heatman's going to give him item 1 for Airman stage. Oh, I forgot to switch games over. There we go. So flash down for negaZeus. Okay, so negaZeus is going to be going into air stage second, and this is going to give him item 2 to cross that Yoko block section safely. So it's a trade-off. I mean, air second is technically kind of a safer route.
A lot safer.
Well, especially if you don't try for any of the really risky early spawn strats or whatever, right?
Yeah, the only reason that you'd go to air third is trying to do fast air using item 1, but if you're not comfortable with doing that, it's a very, very hard trick to do. So, like, I don't blame anybody going for air second on this.
Oh, not at all.
And at the very least, you still get to speed up heat with the item 2 during Yoku blocks, so it's not a total loss. As we'll see, enemy here pulling out the item 1 to start at the fast air.
Oh, looks like negaZeus took an unfortunate death in the pit there in air. It's tough.
That's actually kind of a bad one, just given how far in he was.
Yeah. The stage, like, it seems really simple, but it can be surprisingly brutal. There's a lot of pits, and the fan guys here are just murderous. That guy, like the first of those set of 2, kills so many runs.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, enemy did get fast air, and he's on the last screen now.
Yeah. So it might look like negaZeus is a tiny bit ahead, but Enemy's got a whole stage on him, practically. So... Alright, so that's air down for negaZeus. Pretty soon we should see air down for enemy. He's got lots of HP. He only has to get 7 hits. Oh! Really evil patterns there from air. Like, that's the worst possible patterns you can get from air.
Just can't avoid anything.
Oh my god. That's like the perfect storm right there. If you'll pardon my awful pun.
Is there such thing as an awful pun?
By definition. Alright, so here we go. We got Zeus coming into Heatman stage.
Yeah, and like I said, the difference that you'll see here within Heatman stage is that he won't have to do the Yoku blocks at the end. He'll just use item 2 and fly across the pit.
First, I guess, like, maybe it's a good time to talk about zipping in this game. If you stand on an item and it pushes you into a ceiling, the game won't, like, do the collision detection properly. It'll let you get into the ceiling. And if you do the right trigger motions, then you can actually zip right along the ceiling, or along, like, the inside of a wall in some cases as well. So let's see. Nails it on the first try here. And here there's going to be another similar sort of zip starting. There we go. And here's an interesting kind of zip in Crashman stage, where he's kind of like some screens ahead of where it looks like he is, and he does some wraps, and then he crawls down a ladder. That ladder right there, I think, right at the checkpoint room, in fact, and kills himself so that the screen's fixed.
And then after that, just make use of item 1 and item 3 on the upcoming screen.
Yeah.
Just climb faster.
This is a pretty involved climb, but it looks like enemy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So Heatman fight is pretty random, and pretty annoying. Thankfully, in normal, you only have to hit 7 times instead of 14.
Oh, thankfully, yeah. Heatman can give you essentially 3 patterns. Basically, he'll charge you at either 30, 60, or 90 frames. You want 30 frames, because that means you can hit him again faster. He likes to troll you a lot and give you a lot of 90s sometimes, so all you can do is hope that he gives you the low patterns and roll with what he's got.
Alright, looks like we're about to have our 4th Robot Master down in Mega Man 2.
Oh, hey! He gets the one-shot on Crashman. Very nice.
Yeah.
In order for that to happen, you have to have Crashman actually do a high jump. If he doesn't do it, then you're just kind of out of luck. And he'll die in 2 hits instead.
So both players, I think, have lost a life now, and we'll have to replace it at some point. There's a pretty easy opportunity to do so in Quickman stage. A couple of them, actually. So we'll see which, if any, one-ups these players pick. Oh!
I want to say that...
he has one. I guess he must have gotten it on the item 2.
Yep.
Alright, so enemy picked one up at the beginning of Quick Stage. He might also pick up one in the in the laser section, but we'll see.
The one at the beginning isn't a huge time loss. You need to switch to item 1 anyway in order to do these zips, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, item 1 is a godsend for zipping.
And he nails it.
And
he's going for the dark. Yeah.
So this means he'll probably not be he'll probably not be doing the second zip here. So you see him screen wrap to the left here. You actually kind of have to fix your screen count, or else there will be a section later on, I think it's like right here or something like that, where you couldn't actually progress because the geometry was wrong and you just couldn't get to the screen transition.
Yeah, it's pretty easy
actually,
though.
Yeah. Wow, he tried the dark zip, but I guess he's aborting now at this point.
Not a bad attempt though. You know, he was just a few pixels off, I think, because he got zipped out from underneath the ceiling. Like, he didn't miss it entirely.
Yeah. It was a good try. That's a scary, scary trick, because you have no idea where you are in relation to the gate, and if you overzip, it's a soft block. Good fight. And here we go. We got Crashman for negaZeus, and he did not get the good luck. So just a one boss lead for enemy at this point, heading into metal stage. Zeus will be coming into quick. Here's the easiest zip in the game. Bam, just like that.
So easy.
Yeah, well, yeah. So using the item 1, there's actually 2 different types of trigger that you can do for zips. You can do an A trigger, which is just like, you get into the zip position, and then with the right timing, you press A and then left. But the window is only like 4 frames wide for the left press after the A. So it's a little bit tougher, whereas with the B trigger, I don't even know how big the frame window is, but it's like at least a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically a year.
Basically a year. Or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 frames, I believe, is what that one is.
Okay.
Now what you saw as negaZeus there is he did do the zip. However, he wiggled right at the end that allowed him to keep the lights on instead.
Oh,
snap!
Okay, so he can't do the zip again now.
Nope,
because he
because
doesn't
he has
have
no
any flash
flash.
ammo. You absolutely have to flash for at least one screen.
Otherwise you will die.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised he went for that, given he did get the one in heat.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I've actually had a run die like that before, very
Sure.
recently. Okay, so now here comes enemy into this woodman stage. Now he kind of needs to grab this one up, doesn't he? Doesn't use it for wood.
Well, again, he grabbed the one. No, actually, he does. Wow. Okay, he must have died elsewhere that I didn't see.
He might grab the one in metal then. So here we go. We got the dog scrolls. Sorry, not the dog scrolls, but the dog skips coming up here. That's a pretty good mini zip. That means that he should get past him.
Skipping the dogs
timing
is
on that is
really
pretty-
easy.
Sorry?
No, the skipping the dogs itself is easy. You
Yeah.
literally just flashed on the previous screen.
Yeah. It's really tough to get that mini zip though, because I don't know, the way that Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 1 transition screens is kind of odd. It's not smooth at all.
No.
It happens all at once, and then there's a big pause, and then you gain control. So it's just really tough to time that out. So negaZeus is now finished quick. Here we got enemy doing good wood. It's a very complicated series of zips. He's a little bit... There we go.
Okay. Scared me there for a second.
Yeah, if he'd released... if he'd, like, triggered the death there,
He
he
would
would
have
have
gone back to the
ended
mid
up
screen.
back at the checkpoint and had to do the rest of it zipless. So in Mega Man 2, you have the option of using heat to take it. Is he? Yeah, here we go.
There it is. Okay.
Just notice this one up. Gonna grab it.
I think maybe he had decided previous that he just wasn't going to do the good wood zip at that point, but now he has the opportunity to, now that he saw that.
I guess so. Alright. So Bubble Man's gonna be enemy's last Robot Master in Mega Man 2. see what we got. Good item 2 strats on the first screen here. If it's an incomprehensible blur to you, just know that that's nobody's fault except for Bubbleman himself.
It doesn't matter how good your stream is, that will completely destroy it.
Alright, so here we got Metal Man Fight. Interesting thing about Metal Man Fight, as long as you hold B going into the fight and you don't cross the center of the screen, Metal won't do anything for the first, like, you'll have an opportunity to hit him like 5 times. And in normal, that's enough to kill him. So basically, the guy is a pushover.
Yep. Even with the death, though, he's not too far behind. About 2 stages.
Yeah. It's not been a bad run so far at all.
Plenty of opportunities to catch up.
Yeah, I'm not sure which games negaZeus favors.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure which game Enemy favors either. Maybe 2, since he seemed pretty comfortable in 2.
I think he favors 2 and 6. I know that he had learned 6 for 12-hour challenge once. I don't know how much of that he retained from it, but I know that he's comfortable with 6 based on that.
Okay, so here we go. Coming into my favorite game, Mega Man 3. Starting with my favorite starting stage, Magnet.
Great starting stage.
It's a pretty good starting stage. So you start right off the bat with a Proto Man fight. Proto Man is a very mashing-based sort of mini-boss sort of thing. You fight him 3 times in the 8 Robos, and then you encounter him, or don't, once in Gemini. You really want to not encounter him in Gemini.
You don't want to encounter him in Gemini. Oh, snap. Nega didn't quite pause at the right point when he was doing that zip, which meant he lost all of his zipping momentum to get to the ladder on the other side.
Yeah.
Wasn't
now he's
far
out of
enough
lives.
over to pause buffer it either.
Yeah. A mistake I see people make a lot, and a mistake that I made many times myself, is turning right ever during that zip.
Never
right.
ever
turn right during that little part there. You just hold up to get onto the ladder once you reach it. You don't hold any other D-pad directions, because you need to be facing left, or else the zip is going to stop. You're going to fall out, and you're going to have to die there.
I think a lot of people just tend to hold that out of habit, because like, oh, I need to hold right, keep going right as soon as the zip ends, but that doesn't work. It just ends up killing everything in the zip.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so here the magnet fight is interesting. You kind of want to maximize the number of shield patterns as long as you still have HP to take damage. And after that, you kind of want jumps, because canceling the shields without taking damage is really tough.
Yeah, he got a decent pattern there, though. He was able to cancel quite a few of them.
Alright, so after his mishap, negaZeus is now through wood, and he's going to be heading into bubble. Okay, so Hardman stage is an interesting stage as well.
Kind of misses a couple magnets.
He's only missed one, so he's still okay. He's got just enough ammo to finish off the fight.
Yeah.
At the end of the stage, going for an interesting strat there with the third one. You need to rush coil, but there's 2 different places you can rush coil. He decided to rush coil up top, which means you do 1 or 2 shots on the way up, and then the remainder of the shots on the way down. Whereas normally, with the standard strat, you would place rush coil later on in a sort of a downward position, and just mash 3 shots straight up into the B. Looks like a good trigger for for negaZeus here on this bubble zip. He's not going to have much else to stop him, as long as he doesn't jump too high into the spikes.
With that bubble zip, you can do either the A or the B trigger. Some of them require one or the other, but you can do either one there. It is a lot scarier to go for the B trigger in that one.
Yeah, that's a really scary B trigger.
Given that you have to do it a little earlier than what you would with the A trigger, and if you do it too early, then you zip straight into the spikes and die. But there are some crazies out there that'll go for the B trigger.
Alright, so here's a Proto Man fight again. That one's on uneven terrain, which makes it kind of difficult to do. So it looks like enemy kind of wanted HP for this hard fight. I guess he's going to be trying to do the damage. Oh, thanks for getting the Robot Masters. Alright. So, ooh, he's had some misses here. Now, Buster only does 1 damage to Hardman, but it looks like he's got enough HP to tank it. So that's Hardman down. Alright, so here we got negaZeus taking on Top Man stage. This is another common choice of first Robot Master in Mega Man 3.
Yeah, it's a much harder route, though.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway.
It's like either an easier route or a harder route.
That's true. I mean, yeah, you could do it the
use.
the easier way, but you lose a lot of time for it, but we'll see what he does.
One thing for sure, though, is definitely a very mash-heavy route, and a lot of jump mashing, and mashing at the apex of your jump, like with these cats.
Those cats require 10 shots, I believe. Like 10 lemons, right?
Yeah, but you're going to see enemy come by here with the magnet missile, and he's going to take him out in only 5 shots each.
A lot
Plus
easier.
the auto track, so you can just like shoot him from the ground.
You do have to be close, though, because if you stay too far away, it'll actually track the yarn balls instead, and you don't want that to happen. Just waste
That's a
all your
nightmare
ammo.
scenario. Especially like if you shoot one early as well, so you lost one to just like disappearing through the
Yep,
cat's
like,
hitbox.
just like there. You saw a few of them go straight down towards the yarn ball instead.
Alright. These blocks can be tough to jump on, but it looks like he's through. Okay. It's like a pretty simple 4-cycle fight for negaZeus here. And we're going to be looking for a 2-cycle fight. Yeah, so we're going to be looking for a 2-cycle fight from enemy. He's got the hard knuckle, so that does 7 damage. There we go. Top Man's got 28 HP, just 4 hits.
It's interesting going from, like, for me, like, going from the later games to the older ones, how much damage some weapons do to bosses. Because in later ones, they pretty much standardized it.
Yeah, and how little others do, right?
Yeah. If at all, some of them don't even do any damage.
Yeah. There's a lot of soft weaknesses in Mega Man 3. A lot of weapons that do 2 or 3 damage instead of 4 or 7 or 6.
Makes for interesting routes. You can go through a lot of routes in 3 and still be about the same time-wise because of that.
Mm-hmm. So here negaZeus taking on a very interesting and fun room. A room that requires constant practice, and a room that I could practice forever, among other people. Oh. Gotta be careful with these frogs. They can trip you up.
Oh, we'll see how he does this.
Oh, he's using top spin, but it looks like he's not being too aggressive with the parasews here.
Yeah, okay. So he's probably going to go back each time on each jump rather than sliding forward and doing that. You can slide on those 2-block platforms, jump up and hit them with the top spin and continue, but it is incredibly tight timing.
Yeah, that's pretty much 34s only.
Differently, you can see, enemy going through with magnet missiles instead makes it much easier to go through.
Yeah, he had a really good dark room as well. We were kind of talking about Parasue section, but like that dark room from enemy was pretty slick. So he's coming through, and here is another quick fight. But you have to have some HP coming into this fight because you're going to take hits. So negaZeus took a death, but now he's through. And they're actually both through at about the same time here. Except enemy's got a 2-stage lead. Okay. So now I believe both players will be going to Gemini next.
Most likely. Yep.
Yeah. So Gemini is an interesting stage. First off, it's got another like really great room that's really tough. And you will spend forever optimizing.
Rooms like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The Gemini is a stage that becomes a black hole of practice for most players, myself included. Everything from the first screen to the boss fight just cries for more.
Oh, that's an unfortunate death.
Death in the pit from the a death from negaZeus in the pit. So here you'll see enemy making good use of magnet missile to speed up and trivialize this last section a bit. Here, very important skip.
Very good.
So you wait like 10 seconds while Proto Man does that cutscene, and then the music's still there. So it causes lag because the NES doesn't have a dedicated sound controller.
Yeah, it was interesting on that. You can reduce the lag by getting rid of the music. It's such a weird thing, but it is definitely necessary for this stage.
Processing sound is computationally expensive.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. I think negaZeus got it as well. I wasn't looking, and I can't hear either. So
right.
But we'll see. We'll see in the next screen because it'll either be glitchy block penguins or not.
That's true. It'll either be snake textures or penguins.
Enemy fell down, and I guess he's just gonna switch to marine at this point.
Marine backup. I love it.
Yo, showing off some marine swag here. All right. Looks like he's through. Oh man, this guy's swag is off the charts.
Pulling out all the stops on marine.
All right. So, negaZeus is going to be going across the blocks here, although he's not trying any slides.
He also falls.
Yeah. Oh,
again?
At this point, I'd probably.
I would just go to marine. Yeah.
Time to switch to marine, but he doesn't really have the HP to go to marine. So here's.
That's true.
Oh, that's too bad. So, oh no, it's a game over as well. That's
even worse.
Really bad. Okay, so you can see how Shadowblade can make the fight against Gemini Man a little bit faster than if he were to do it with Buster. Gemini's primary weakness is Snake, but it's really slow to come about that way unless you're doing Needle first, like the Great Eldra. Friedel, indeed. The reasoning here is you kind of want Gemini for Needleman's stage and boss. And you really, really want Rush Jet for Snake Stage, so...
Alright, he gets to skip again.
So Magnet Missile, again proving itself very useful in this middle section of Needleman stage. And you can see negaZeus. He's got good HP, which is nice. You take quite a few bonks coming through this middle section here, and then you kind of want some HP to absorb, like, for example, if you screw up the Stomper or whatever, or take a body hit from Gemini, which does 6. Oh no!
Just
Jumping right into the pit.
Ooh, okay, we're past the Stomper. Good E-Tank, that's a wise decision. Going into Needle.
Right. Zeus is going man mode. He's gonna skip Marine, even in the laggiest version of this room. Ooh! You see, he got like the first half of the wiggle there, and he wasn't sure what was going on. Just by accident. Alright, so Friedel fight done. For enemy? I didn't see any laser shenanigans, so...
There was one to do a laser in that.
Okay, well I didn't see it, so I'm gonna pretend it didn't happen.
It's best to not think it happened.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, because of negaZeus' mistakes, enemy now has a commanding lead coming into the latter part of this Mega Man 3 portion. I mean, Mega Man 4 is still a thing, though, so I wouldn't call it over. Got Gemini down now, at long last. Now he'll probably be coming into Needle next, and then Magnet after that.
Snake uses a lot of Rush Jet to go through a lot of sections. It's really, really nice to have it here.
Yeah, this is why it's absolutely critical to do Needle before Snake.
In the last screen, especially.
Yeah, and that's why you don't see a lot of Snake versus Gemini. Yeah, so you'll see a couple interesting properties of Rush Jet in this last area. Number one, if you're jumping on Rush Jet, it doesn't use any ammo. Rush Jet only depletes its ammo if Mega Man's standing on it. Number two, you can jump off the top of the screen and it'll actually screen wrap to the bottom. And you saw a couple of the times there were those cloud platforms that spawn in the chutes. If you're just flying over them, they don't spawn like that. Normally you have to stand on it. But you saw that he jumped from the top of the screen, and he actually screen wrapped all the way over. And, ooh, we got a new dual laser for negaZeus here. You gotta be very careful with this Needle fight. Okay.
Ooh, almost gets another.
Okay?
Okay, we're fine.
So he actually screen wrapped, like, onto the top of the chute, and triggered those cloud platforms to spawn, which is an interesting little thing. You can also use it in you can also abuse that property in Dock Needle with the dragonflies and parachutes.
Yeah, it makes the enemies think that you're down on the bottom of the screen. It does reduce a lot of lag as well because Mega Man goes off of the screen, so his sprite, is no longer there to make lag with.
Yes. Alright, so that's Needle down for negaZeus, and now he's into Magnet. We got Snake down for Enemy, and he's into Spark, which is his last Robot Master for Mega Man 3. He's now enjoying about a 3-boss lead, which is pretty commanding. But anything can happen in Mega Man 4 through 6.
Now, one thing that you'll see different for negaZeus in Magnet Stage, since he did it later, is he actually gets to use Rush Jet coming up on the Yoku blocks here, which makes this stage a lot faster in that regard. Don't have to wait for anything.
Yeah, you'll also see him use Shadow Blade against Magnet, who's an interesting boss who actually has 2 primary weaknesses. He takes 7 damage from each of Spark Shock and Shadow Blade. So here we go, Spark Fight. Spark Fight is random, but very easy to deal with the different patterns. So now, if this stupid tool would respond, that would be great. There we go.
That is the end of 3 for Enemy, and we're on to Mega Man 4.
Alright, so Enemy's going to be doing Bright first here. Got Magnet down for negaZeus. So he's just got 3 Robot Masters left in Mega Man 3. And then he'll be heading to Mega Man 4. So Mega Man 4 has some interesting changes. There are some changes in physics. There are some changes in like various gameplay things. Your slide is extended, and you can jump out of it in the first 8 frames, where you couldn't in Mega Man 3. But you can't jump out of it unless you let go of down, and you can't jump out of your slides underwater. So some of those things become critical in certain stages. You also don't have nearly as much leeway when you're sliding off of an edge in Mega Man 4 and 5 as you do in 3.
You get it back in 6, though.
Yeah, but you can't jump.
You can't jump. You got to overcome that, but you can go all the way off the ledge.
Alright. Nice use of top spin strats here on the monkeys in Hardman stage.
Yeah, we do see Enemy going to Bright first. Some people will go to Pharaoh first instead, but Bright first is generally the easier route because you can use his weapon to make pretty much everything in 4 a lot easier. Alright, good. So in the Bright fight, Brightman will only freeze you on certain intervals of Brightman's health. So he'll freeze you at 16, 8, and 4 health remaining. So if you do a couple of charge shots and then a normal shot on him, and then just do charge shots from there, he'll never freeze you, ever.
Yeah, the major thing to avoid is doing 4 charge shots before getting that lemon in, or else you'll hit the first flash. Alright, so that's Hardman down. So he's just got 2 bosses left to go in Mega Man 3. And he'll be moving on to Mega Man 4 after that. So here we got Enemy going into Pharaoh stage. So it's going to be pretty critical in this case that he gets this jump. He's taking it very carefully, making sure that he gets a slide all the way off the edge there.
I'm curious why he's not using any bright on this screen to despawn the scorpions.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't use it right away, it's already too late, because you'll just get them in a worse position.
Eh. The cool thing that happens with Bright's weapon in this game is if you use it and you start sliding, it actually doesn't eat up any of the time spent that it has. So theoretically, if you could get perfect sliding after you fire a single use of the flash stopper, it would never end.
Pretty good weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the second half of Pharaoh stage is just making sure you don't die on these spikes or in these pits. There's not all that much else going on in it.
Yeah, get balloon, and then auto-scroll, sort of.
Yeah. So Pharaoh Man likes to jump.
A lot.
Yeah, Pharaoh Man is...
But sometimes, you know, he'll just sit in front of you and take everything. He does that actually a little more often when you stand closer to him. A lot of people, when they start playing this, like to stay away from him as a, you know, as a reaction. Oh, I want to stay away from the boss and have more reaction time. He's kind of programmed to counter that. So if you stay close to him, he more often than not, will actually do this charge attack instead, which allows you to just continuously hit him without any issues.
Yeah, definitely a boss that speed strats help with. So, alright, so here's this snake fight. Gonna be looking to kind of get towards the center. In Mega Man 3, as in Mega Man 1 and 2, you kind of freeze in place after the boss is dead, but like in Mega Man 2, but unlike in Mega Man 2, you warp out of the center instead of just where you were. So you kind of want to end the fight where you're at the center, and you also want to end the fight where the boss is at the center, because all the explosion bubbles need to be off the screen for the warp out to start.
Enemy not going for balloon strats.
Yeah, he's just gonna right through this section.
Still a good way to do it. Allows you to get through it still fairly quickly. No issues from the turrets or anything.
Yeah. Certainly, if you're not going to go for the balloon strats, you should be at least doing the bright strats.
Now, as with all good programmed mini-bosses, we can skip them. As he just did there with the hippo. However, with this one, we cannot. He actually does have to kill this ring mini-boss.
Yeah. Mega Man 4 has a lot of mini-bosses, and most of them you can skip. Like, it's actually impressive how few of the mini-bosses you actually have to fight.
Right. Even the Whales and Dive Man stage, we don't actually skip them because it's really, really hard and takes some setup to do. You can skip it still. But it is slower to do so.
Yeah. I think, like, if you're the TAS, you can even skip the first hippo entirely without it even rising up.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Alright, so we got negaZeus just coming up on Sparkman here. He's gonna be doing his final fight, and then he'll be into Mega Man 4 as well. So, you know, just a few bosses behind still. Mega Man 4 and 5 are very dangerous games. Mega Man 6 can be a dangerous game as well, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
I'm just having a little bit of difficulty with this spark fight, but he's through. Alright, ring fight down for enemy. Ring fight is very dangerous, especially for newcomers, but the speed strats make it okay.
You just have to make sure you have health for it.
Yeah.
And are good enough to slide quickly. Now, what's interesting with Pharaoh's weapon is you actually essentially get 2 shots out of 1 ammo. If you start charging it, you see that it kind of sits above their head. That is actually usable, and it won't eat up any ammo, so we abuse that because why not? It's free ammo.
Yeah. It also makes things really fast to kill because you're hitting them twice in rapid succession with charge shots, basically.
Hence the ringman fight.
Mm-hmm.
negaZeus also going to Bright first.
Yeah. If you saw, if one of the runners went Pharaoh first, you'd get to see an example of that, actually. The Pharaoh tomfoolery taken to the highest level with the Bright fight.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. That's a really tough fight to do with Pharaoh, and a relatively simple Buster fight, though, so I don't blame anybody for going Bright first, especially since the time save from Pharaoh first is like 3 seconds.
Something like that. It's very minimal. Looks like enemies swapping back to Buster rather than to Ring to go through the Crusher section, which isn't a bad choice. It's a lot easier to go through it in this way.
Yeah, if you don't do your rings just right, you're going to waste a lot of ammo and perhaps die as well. So it's definitely worthwhile to swap back to Buster if you're not 100% confident. Alright. negaZeus with good pace through this Bright stage. He'll be coming up to the fight. He does not have a charge. I guess maybe he'll just start with a lemon.
Yeah. As long as you have one lemon in there at the near the beginning, then you're fine.
Yeah, it's definitely one way to make sure that the fight goes okay. Alright, so that's a decent dust fight for enemy there.
I believe that him jumping around like that is actually the best thing that you could get, just because you can, like, if you time it right, you can just continuously hit him.
Yeah, the constant jumping fight is really good, but you want him to end towards the center.
The center.
There.
Yeah, and 3 and 4, I don't know, did you explain this, how the fanfare works?
Yeah, the fanfare doesn't start till all the boss bubbles are gone.
Yeah.
But in 4 through 6, you can actually move to the center of the screen yourself at this point. So in Mega Man 4, there's a really interesting thing where there's a couple pixels, one for each facing direction, where you can where you get pulled directly into the weapon get instead of jumping up into it. Okay. So Skull Stage, you're going to see use of the balloon here. The balloon is a very nice weapon that lets you ascend quickly. So you see him going over the shield attacker in that case, and he did a zip where he like slid onto the balloon right underneath a ceiling, and then just at the last moment he took a hit. If he didn't take the hit, the game would have actually crushed him against the ceiling, and he would have died. But taking the hit, it lets him get inside the ceiling without dying, and then the game gets confused and just shoots him out on the right.
Now you also see that oftentimes when he was going through the stage with the balloon didn't actually spawn. If you put a balloon close enough to the wall... Oh no! That was an unfortunate time to freeze that. But anyway, the balloon, as long as you have 4 pixels to still jump on where the balloon would have spawned at, you can still jump off of that. So
as long as the explosion graphic's still there.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so Skull Fight is a random fight only in the duration of Skull's shields.
Yeah, you can manipulate everything else if you know how to do it right.
Yeah, basically, he'll shoot if you move first. Like, if you press B before moving, then he'll jump and do a shield. If you move before shooting, then he'll do shots. And he'll only do the same thing twice in a row.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what. Okay, so here's this. Ooh. Okay,
Okay, we're fine.
Whenever I see jumps at low health with Pharaoh,
Oh,
I
it's
get
so
a little
scary.
scared there. But he's through.
And he gets the magic pixel even.
Nice.
The magic pixel, that works, I believe, on all of the Mega Man 4 bosses. If you stand on on a very specific pixel, it just warps you straight up to the center of the room, so you don't actually have to go through the jump animation.
Alright. So here he's freezing these wells to make them easier to kill. Dive Man stage, actually, pretty heavy use of Bright. Just to freeze things in place, which actually reduces lag and also makes the stage easier.
Much
fewer
easier.
moving enemies. Fewer moving enemies means less lag. Okay.
Okay,
He did that jump early, and I was wondering if he was gonna die on the spikes, but looks like he's through.
Oh, he freezes the whale pretty low,
Super
actually.
low. Makes it tough to do the mashing.
Yeah, if you freeze him up high enough and you're good enough at mashing, you can just straight up jump and in that single jump kill him.
Yeah.
But
Lots of players here will swap to Skull instead to make it easier to kill those rays. But
yeah, that and you wouldn't have to go through a second swap just to get the skull again, like he'll have to do here.
But I guess Enemy was worried about his ammo, which is a valid concern, because you can take deaths on dive here. If you take a death and you're out of ammo, then it really sucks doing the Buster fight.
You don't want to use Buster, actually. You want to use Dust. It's a secondary weakness to him. It does 3 damage.
Oh, really? I never knew that until
It's
just
the only
now.
one. Yeah, no, if you run out of Skull, do not do a Buster fight, use Dust. You'll have a much better time than what you would with Buster.
I didn't even know that Mega Man 4 had secondary weaknesses for the most part. Like,
I think
I know
that is the only one.
Ooh, Dust does 2 to Dust does 2 to Pharaoh, and Skull does 2 to Bright. But other than that, I don't really know of any others. Alright, so we got Ringman down for negaZeus. So he's keeping pace through these stages.
I was wondering like what he was doing. I didn't see if he had died or if he just swapped back to Buster earlier, but it looks like he'd actually swapped back to Buster so he could preserve all of his his Pharaoh ammo to fight Ringman with, so he could have a much easier fight.
Yeah. With the standard strats, you end with like, I don't know, 7 or 8 ammo, so you really can't afford to miss many shots. Alright, so he's going to use Bright here in this Dustman stage just to make things easier to deal with. You notice that he's shooting the shield attackers from the front there. That's because Bright takes away their shield.
Yeah, it makes it much easier. You're just able to mash straight through everything.
Oh no!
Oh, just barely jumps too early, not making the platform.
That's a really crappy death to take because the checkpoint's in the next room. Alright, so here's a really scary room in Drillman stage. Because of... Okay, so he was so slow that it's not coming up at the awkward time for him to do his reflash. You kind of either want to be really slow through that section or really fast. Because otherwise there's like that one jump at the very end, and there's an enemy there, and if your flash runs out at a really bad time, which it usually does, then you might run right into him.
Mm-hmm.
So here we use Dive Missile versus Dive Man.
Now to go fast, you're hoping that he doesn't dive at all. Oh, and he has some E-tank, so that's good. He can be a little bit risky if he wants, but not necessarily recommended.
E-tank is right then. So staying away from Drillman can be tempting, but you don't actually really want to stay that far away, because the closer you are to Drillman, the less likely it is that he dives.
Yeah, it's just like fighting Pharaoh Man in that respect. You want to stay close to him.
Oh, no!
Oh!
So, the Crusher in Dust Stage is really hard.
Yeah, if you know like the exact spots to throw the ring out, you'll get through every time. But if you don't and haven't practiced it, it'll mess with you.
He's a little low on ammo here.
Yeah.
Is he banking on getting an ammo drop at this point? I wonder.
I guess, or he just didn't realize it.
Oh, no, no, no.
No!
Okay, so Toadman stage is another stage that you use Bright all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Kind of has the gimmick of the rain, pushes you back, so it makes the first jumps in that a little tricky to get used to.
Pretty tight. You have to know how many slides you're doing. It's like slide, 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 jump, slide, slide, jump, slide, slide, jump, slide, slide, slide off.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something I've internalized so thoroughly that I couldn't even, like, ever do anything else.
Okay, we're through the Crusher.
Using the Flash Stopper to get through these snail mini-bosses. Another, yeah, surprise, another mini-boss that gets skipped. Ooh. Alright, okay.
Does the easy version of it. If you just take the damage there and then just hold left, you'll be safe, guaranteed. Top runners of it will actually try and do a reverse damage boost on those.
Yeah,
but
if you try the reverse damage boost and then you screw it up,
you're dead.
You're pretty much dead. Alright, so he's gonna have to use Buster here versus Dustman, and that's kind of a crappy fight.
Yeah.
Because you really want the fight to be over as quickly as possible, otherwise bad things will happen, like Dust will suck.
Since that Dustman sucks, as you can see.
Yeah, alright, so that's Toadman down. That's Mega Man 4 down for Enemy. He's enjoying a pretty significant lead at this point.
Yep.
He's going into Starman first.
Yeah, going to Starman is pretty much a set-in-stone route. Like, you need to go to Starman to get Super Arrow, which it pretty much sets the rest of the route.
Yeah. Yeah, the Super Arrow is used extensively. I think that you drain your arrow in every single stage after Star.
Or close to it. Now, one thing to note that's different, first off, you know, between 4 and 5, the charge. It's a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger, and it pierces enemies even with 3 HP. So for like the charge shot, normally it pierces enemies with 1 or 2 HP. Because it does 3 damage, and it's like, okay, so this shot is so powerful, it went right through him. So even if the enemy has 3 HP, it will still pierce through in Mega Man 5. So there's a lot of enemies with 3 or fewer HP, like these guys, and so you can really abuse that, and the Buster charges really quickly as well compared to Mega Man 4, but it doesn't charge while you're sliding, and
yep, there is a drawback.
If you get hit, you lose the charge as well.
Oh, he's not going to go for the damage boost strat on Starman. You can shoot Starman like while he still has the shield up, so oftentimes you'll see people open with Starman. He'll always jump towards you, so you'll see them just jump towards him at the same time and then just fire as soon as they get in contact with him, and it'll still hit him through the shield. Now for Mega Man 5 and 6 as well, actually, you're going to want to actually kill the bosses in the corners, because it isn't based on when the bubbles leave the screen, there's a timed fanfare. So you want to kill them in the corners to reduce as much lag as possible from the bubbles. So I'm getting a quick shield there on Skullman.
Alright, so here's Gravity Man's stage. It's an it's an interesting stage. You might get to see the first use of Super Arrow later on here. Normally it would be out already, but beginner strats, intermediate strats, maybe not using it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Skull is down for negaZeus, and he's coming into Dive Man stage. This is a stage that can kill people pretty easily. Number one, because of the weird slide physics underwater. Number two, just because there's spikes everywhere. Number three, there's a lot of hard-hitting enemies, and Dive Man, of course, like all Mega Man 4 bosses, hits hard himself. So really, it's a bit of a gauntlet stage.
And we did see the first use of Super Arrow here. Makes screens a lot faster. Just shoot the arrow, ride on it, and that's it. You just relax.
Yeah, I think that the max speed of the arrow is like 1.6 times the max speed of sliding.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so it's really fast.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Now see, Gravity Man is actually a 100% non-random fight. He will do, yeah, scripted. He will do everything the exact same. So it looks like he kind of went for an easier way of killing him rather than what you do normally. Because there's a couple of tricky, at least one anyway, jump that you have to get right in the center of the room in order to hit him.
negaZeus with no bright left for this whale fight, but looks like he was able to get a good pattern anyways.
Got some good mashing as well.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I've never seen these Pharaoh strats on this screen before, but it looks surprisingly effective. Okay.
I mean, it makes good use of being able to shoot diagonally.
Yeah. So here's the first really really arrow-centric level here.
Yep.
So Gyro Man is a wide open stage with a lot of long screens. Oh, that's a low arrow.
Oh my goodness.
He jumps off in time, but that's a very low arrow, and that would normally get you killed.
How many pixels off was he from those two enemies? Like,
I'm
holy
pretty
cow.
sure he was 1 pixel short of dying there. Oh.
Oh, he tanked an arrow off of the chicken, and when that happened, it rebounded back and took him off of the arrow he was standing on.
Yeah, so you really, like, it's absolutely crucial to place your arrows at the right heights, and you can see how that happened, right? It's like, his arrow was a little too low.
Still was able to make
if he gets a drop here, I guess
he slid through it! Oh,
but
man.
you can actually just skip this entire next screen here by riding an arrow across it.
Actually, he got a large drop. He could have skipped the Stomper, too.
It's super scary. I'd rather skip this screen than risk it on the Stomper skip.
Yeah, he does jump a little high.
Alright, so interesting to note, so in Mega Man 5 you got these beat letters that you would normally be collecting in a speedrun, because beat's really critical for most RTAs of Mega Man 5.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, sorry, yes. Most Mega Man 5 RTAs, beat is critical. But only in the Fortress, because you collect the letters throughout the 8 robos, and you don't use beat in any of the 8 robos. So there are some beatless specific strats that are going to be coming up here, including one in the very next stage. But you can basically just like save some time by not collecting letters. And one in spectacular fashion right here, coming up pretty soon.
Nega is making good work going through Drillman stage. Like, I'd say it's safe to say that 4 is one of his more comfortable games.
Yeah, he hasn't really screwed up anything in Mega Man 4 yet, has he?
All. Not that I've seen. Oh no, he messed up the Crusher section, I think.
Oh yes, so the Crusher can trip anybody up. But
yeah, other than that, like, he's been doing some really solid work on this.
Okay, so pay attention to enemy screen here. He's going to be taking damage. And then pretty soon he's going to make some magic happen. Hopefully. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3. No, that's way too high!
That is really high, yeah. Ooh.
So he jumped before placing the last arrow, which is problematic. I guess he's maybe just going to go through the stage at this point.
Yeah, unless he got an extra
Or no,
life.
maybe he's farming
gonna
for
farm.
ammo.
Okay. I hope he has the extra life for it.
Yeah, he's got the extra
okay.
life. Alright. I wonder what he's thinking at this
I think
point.
technically he still has 3 shots. He can still do it, but arrow drains while you stand on it, so he'd have to be very fast.
Yeah, you gotta be
extra
very
life anyway.
precise to make this happen. I guess he's given up. Maybe he wanted to have a spare life. Okay, so this is going to be very, very critical. Oh no, this is way too high again!
So basically the reason that he's putting it up high is he keeps jumping and then placing it after he's jumped, so he has to place it while he is on the ground and on the arrows, not in the air.
Alright. He might just go through the stage at this point.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. Alright. Well, maybe you'll get to see it on negaZeus' screen instead, coming up later.
Crystal stage, though. Oh, yeah, see.
Oh, he wanted to swap to the...
He actually knows the crystal strats. You do swap to super arrow there to get through this room, and you can actually go through without dying at all. 100% safe on one arrow through this. But, so, it's kind of funny. He actually does know how to do the speedrun strats, but doesn't have the arrows to do it.
Yeah. This is a terrifying, terrifying room if you don't have an arrow.
Yep.
Oh, he's just gonna use Star Crush to skip this next one. Alright, that's a good strat.
That is
He's,
a really good
like,
strategy.
you can waste a million years trying to wait for those guys to stop falling. I think Star Crush kills these crystal... Oh, no.
Did he? I think he took the hit on one, and then he ended up doing a reverse damage boost. He realized what was happening, tried to turn left, but because of that, he reverse damage boosted, and that put him into the pit rather than on top of the platform.
Alright, so we got both players in the same game now. Enemy has relinquished one of the stages of his lead.
Okay, so it looks like he's trying to do a game over at this point. Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna do
So
a
he's
game
gonna
over
start
and see
over,
if he can
have
get
arrow
this
again.
crystal warp going. So we might yet get to see this happen on enemy screen. He's just gotta focus on getting the setup right. Gotta do B and then A, not A and then B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, B. Oh, no! He could have gotten on it! Alright, so,
Oh no!
negaZeus... Oh, no! Oh, and he's got no HP.
Okay.
He's probably gonna die here.
I bet what he's gonna try and do is do the arrow strat here and continue. Oh, he's not. Okay. All right.
Alright. It's easy to find yourself in a lot of trouble in this stage.
Yeah, especially if you're not used to doing the actual stage. It is a really rough stage to go through.
Alright. he might be checking his ammo here and seeing that maybe it is worthwhile. Let's try the arrow. No, okay.
Nope, not gonna do it. Wonder if he'll swap back to Star Crash.
Yeah, it looks like it is. Alright. So negaZeus had one death near the checkpoint in Star, but looks like he's through the stage otherwise. And if he's able to get the Crystal Warp, this could be a major game changer here.
Yep. Could jump over the Crystal Joe.
Yeah. You really want to stick close to Starman, because that means he'll always do the very high, very short jumps. Sorry, very high, very close jumps. Which are very slow as well. So everything works out quite nicely. So the upshot of this is that enemy's going to pick up an E-Tank and perhaps also an M-Tank. Which is going to give him a buffer against damage later on in the run.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for it. Or he's going to E-Tank and not go for it.
Right away and not pick up the M-Tank? Okay.
Maybe he'll go from behind? No, he's just going.
No, looks like he's just going. Alright. Fair enough.
Will he at least get the letter?
I would have picked up...
He gets the letter.
I would have picked up the M-Tank in his position. But
I would
at the same time...
It does waste time in that regard.
Yeah, it does waste a little bit of time.
Not much, yeah.
Alright, so here's Crystal Man fight. Crystal Man fight is kind of random, but mostly not. You just kind of want to despawn most of these Crystal Eye fragments as quick as possible. And it's random whether or not he attacks on each jump. So there we go.
And the only way you do the despawning is by running into them. So you hope to like get hit by one and then take away two of them after that and leave one still bouncing around. That way he can't throw out another one for quite a while.
Yeah. Enemy dropping a cheeky little message in chat there.
What a guy.
Yep.
Napalm was a fun stage. At least for me, I really enjoyed this stage.
Yeah, Napalm's a great stage. I love the music. I love the stage design.
My favorite song in the game.
Sorry?
It's my favorite song in the game.
I think it's my second favorite after Stone, but it really, it's just like fantastic all around. Alright, and it's got some cool arrow strats as well. So you'll see in this room he's going to try and do an arrow, and then he's going to jump up from it. Do another one? Oh, I guess he's going to skip the second arrow, which is okay, because really critically, you want to have 2 arrows for this room. 1, 2, just like that. Skip right over all this stuff. Now he's going to go to Gravity Hold, and he's going to use that through the rest of the stage.
Taking a quick D-boost. It's much faster than trying to kill the turret.
Alright, let's see if negaZeus can nail these arrows in Gyro. That looks like a good position. There we go.
Well done.
Yeah. So, a little bit of hidden tech with the arrow is that it only drains ammo when you're standing on it.
Oh, interesting. It takes a D-boost at the last of the... right before the boss corridor. That looks a little scary, actually, but yeah, he was able to get through the other 3 missiles that popped up because of it. Interesting, though, with this Napalm fight. Normally you want to stay far away from Napalm, because then he'll shoot 3 missiles, and you can just hit him repeatedly, and it doesn't cause any lag. Unlike the Napalm bombs, they cause a lot of lag.
Yeah, but honestly, that fight is way easier that way.
It is way easier doing that, that is true.
Yeah, the standard strat is quite a mouthful. But yeah, so sorry, I guess I was caught in the middle of a sentence there. Normally Super Arrow drains its ammo very quickly. Whoa. So it drains its ammo very quickly, so you get a very limited use out of it. But if you like slide off the edge and then keep holding right, you'll continually walk off the edge, bam, 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 and you'll save, I think, like almost half of your energy that way. So in many cases, that's just enough to give you enough arrow to do another arrow strat in another screen, which can save quite a lot of time. And a lot of those are like all or nothing. Either you have one ammo left over at the end, or you have nothing and you can't do the next arrow. So it's very, very critical that you be mindful of your arrow usage. Alright, so Stone Stage has quite a bit going on.
Yeah, we get to see the first of the difference of Mets between games.
Yeah,
or at least five Mets, anyway. 5 is normal Mets. You shoot them, and they turn into 3 small Mets. A little scary to deal with sometimes.
Making good use of the arrow here over this screen. Oh, I haven't seen this strat before. The early switch to gravity hold.
Yeah, it'll make this screen coming up a lot easier. However, he won't be able to use it for the last screen. And, oh, no, he will. Okay, he's preserving it fairly well. So rather than using Rush Jet to jump up quickly through that screen, he's just going to ride the moving platforms.
Mm-hmm. So meanwhile, negaZeus absolutely nailed the Crystal Warp here. So he's gained quite some ground. Basically, what happens is you die on the cup and ball guy on the left at the same time as the cup and ball guy on the right spawns. Basically, what happens is you die, and all of the object slots in the game are filled with your explosion bubbles, and then the second half of this cup and ball guy tries to spawn, and it spawns like beyond the bounds of the object table and lands in Mega Man's position data, which rewrites his respawn timer to something very long, and and his screen count to something ridiculously high, and the game just throws you back at the boss checkpoint after about a 45-second wait.
I forget how much time it saves. I want to say it's 9 seconds if you do it first try.
Yes, like 9 or 10 seconds off of the perfect stage. So for most people, it's going to be a lot more.
Yep. And Charge Man stage, we'll see if enemy goes for any, but yep, right here. He's going to swap to Super Arrow. This is much easier spot to do it at than what a lot of people do by trying to do it on the previous screen. But as you can see, you just fly over everything. This speeds up the end.
Yep.
That one.
Did
like
your
to use
voice
Chris.
cut out? Okay.
Maybe?
Okay.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. All right. So this is Charge Man stage, and that was the chicken room, and yeah. So that's a pretty tough room. When you watch a good player play through it, they make it look like nothing, but actually, like, the chicken room is terrifying. It's very precise, and if you miss a crystal shot, like, it's gonna bounce, and you're gonna have to, like, oh my god, you have to wait like a million years, or you do a costly pause to reset it.
But we like to use Crystal Eye because it has a very large hitbox, and you can hit all the mice on the ground and everything.
Yeah, plus it does 2 damage.
Yep, kills the chickens very quickly, so it's a very useful weapon for it.
Alright, so Power Stone. That's
Power Stone's a weapon.
It is definitely a weapon, and it might even be in this game. Yo, another use of the damage boost strat there.
That terrifies me a bit.
Well, I guess if you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
and
The-
you know,
it's not
appears
not
to
Mega
know
Man
what
2
he's doing.
knockback.
5.
Yeah.
Alright. Another pretty ho-hum. Oh! The bonus new Dua crystal there. Alright,
Alternatively,
so that's
he has
Man
3
down.
of them, so he still killed them with it.
Napalm Man down. So, only a 2-stage lead at this point for Enemy over negaZeus coming into the end of Mega Man 5. So, if the precise right amount of comedy happens in Mega Man 6, then we could see an upset.
Indeed. We will see, though, because like I said earlier, you know, Enemy did try and learn Mega Man 6 for a 12-hour challenge at one point, so he does know the mechanics of the game.
That's certainly better than nothing. So
Yep.
here you can see the charge kick actually bypasses a lot of enemies. So lets you slide right through them without taking damage, which is really critical because Wave Fight is a fight that makes you take a lot of damage, especially if you're trying to be fast at it. So let's see. Doesn't look like he's gonna try any sort of bubble skip.
Yeah, he's probably just going to get the arrow out now so that he can use it on the final screen to go through it quickly.
Yeah. And then you can do an arrow straight into the auto-scroller section as well. Save a little bit of time that way.
Right, yeah.
Alright. Yeah, just shooting one arrow. If he shot 3, I might have thought he might be going
Insane.
for boat skip. Well, yes, that too.
Yeah,
I
going
think
for
that
boat skip.
Go for boat skip are categorically insane.
Boat skip, it isn't hard to do boat skip, but it only saves 1 second if you do it correctly. And what you do is you shoot 2 or 3 arrows, and then right before the auto scroller takes over, you slide on them, and then jump into the screen transition. And that allows you to actually walk freely along the water rather than having this restrictive boat. But if you land on the water before you actually get to the screen transition, it soft locks the game because the game thinks that you're still trying to get on the boat infinitely because you'll never actually reach the boat. And at that point, you'd have to password back in.
Yeah, that'd be like a 2.5 minute loss. Not very good.
No.
Alright, so negaZeus has having a pretty good Stone Man stage here.
Yeah, preserve the gravity for the last screen. Makes it a lot easier to go through, don't really have to stop much. Not sure we talked about Stone Man's pattern earlier. Basically, you want him to do these small hops because you can just continuously hit him like that. When he jumps up high, you can't do anything about it, and he just crumbles, and he's invincible at that point.
Yeah. So one thing to watch out for when you're using Napalm Bomb against Stone Man, if you shoot it from like, oh, I guess did he take that?
He might have done that on purpose. That's what it looked like to me.
Okay. At that point, it would have been faster to take the M tank in Crystal, but whatever. What am I trying to say? So
fight.
yes, yeah, okay. So Napalm Bomb, if you shoot it from like too high up, it actually affects your falling speed walking off an arrow. And so you might shoot an arrow and walk off it trying to save ammo, and suddenly find that you walked straight off of it and fallen down. Basically because of lazy programmers not cleaning their memory, not sanitizing their memory addresses.
Game for Enemy on the Mega Man 6, going with the win first route.
Yep.
You might see 1 or 2 people go for Flame first as well. It's about the same amount of time going for it, just whichever you're more comfortable with. Most people go for Wind. Mostly because the Flame fight is a lot harder to do, Buster only.
Yeah. So he's to the checkpoint already, which is good because, like, the room right before the checkpoint there is really easy to die.
Yeah, indeed. We call that improv room because of how many different things you have to account for on the fly.
Oh, looks like he's gonna take the 1-up in the HP there. Maybe not a bad call, considering how easy it is to die to random stuff in this game.
Yep.
Okay, so we got negaZeus coming into this Charge Man fight. Looks like he's gonna do the charge shot strats to begin it. Except he didn't get his second hit in first, so he's not actually saving a hit that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see he's using Power Stone and then pausing to cancel it. That's because otherwise Power Stone would stay on screen for like 5 seconds while you couldn't do anything.
More like 5 years.
5 seconds, what, 5 years? What's the difference?
Right.
Alright, so here you can see the Buster win fight. Going over to the wrong side there. You want to be on the right-hand side to cancel out lag from boss explosion bubbles. But I'm sure you could talk about that way better than I could.
You cut out there for a second for me, so I wasn't sure what you said.
Oh, I was just talking about he slid to the wrong side there. But you could explain that way better than I could.
Yeah, in Mega Man 6 for the 8 robot fights, after you kill a boss, you do want to kill them in the corners still, so that it reduces lag from the bubbles. However, if you want to try and kill them in the right corners specifically, because for whatever reason, on the right corner only, if you run and jump against the wall, it'll reduce lag. It doesn't work on the left wall, but on the right wall it does for some unknown reason. So, if possible, you try and make sure that Mega Man is on the right side of the screen so that you can get over there. If you're not anywhere close to the wall, though, it's not worth doing anything. You just need to stand still because you'll actually cause more lag in trying to move in that time.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. No shot from Roland. That's nice.
Indeed. Roland being one of these top cloud enemy there, he notoriously likes to snipe runners out of the air and waste a couple of seconds.
Yeah, Flame Stage is so fun. Like,
so fun.
Yeah, it's another one of those stages. It's like Gemini. It's like what's another stage I have a lot of fun practicing? It's like Stone Man. It's like any of those other really technical stages where you could always improve a little thing about it.
Yeah, if you want a good idea of how, like,
Ooh,
Mega Man 6 speedrun,
okay.
you learn Flame Man stage.
Alright, he's through.
Alrighty, sir. Yep.
Yeah,
As
this
you can
is
see,
a really,
Go
really
ahead.
scary. It's a really scary stage, or specifically, it's a really scary room when you fall down, and then you have to like choose: am I making a break for the left, or am I just gonna sit here and wait for him to shoot a flame at me so I can deboost and go up to the right? It's like, so here the Flame Man fight becomes not bad.
Got a couple of high jumps, which is unfortunate. Again, going to the left side. With the Flame Man, a lot of the jumps, or actually, a lot of the bosses, I should say, in Mega Man 6, they tend to jump high, and you can't do anything about it. So you hope that they just stay along the ground and that you can still hit them. Meanwhile, we have the last fight here in Mega Man 5 for Nega.
Yep. Ooh, he's very low HP, but he's got it. Alright, we're through.
Fantastic.
Alright, so we are on the final stage. Sorry, the final game for both players here. He'll be going wind first. Good call if you ask me.
Yeah, you'll see probably 99% of the runners in this go for wind first.
Oh, doing a turn cancel there. So Blizzard Man has, like the ice, has some pretty interesting physics when you try to do slide cancels.
Oh, slide canceling. I'm not sure we covered those.
Yeah. Please be my guest.
Slide canceling. So the biggest difference between Mega Man 6 compared to 3, 4, and 5 is you can't jump out of your slide. Instead, when you hit A, you cancel it. You just stop instantly. So optimizing Mega Man 6 all becomes about how well you can either double tap A or turn around within, a frame or two, and then continue forward. It's all about the slide canceling and slide chaining. So when you get to the ice stage here in Blizzard Man, whenever you try and do a turn cancel on the ice, you actually kind of rubber band back to the direction you came. But if you A cancel on it, it'll actually stop you right there, and you still keep your forward momentum. So it makes for a couple of really fun spots because it allows you to do reverse damage boosts while still moving forward.
Yeah, so here's a random boss. You want as few rolls as possible. Looks like just a couple rolls here.
3 rolls. 2 is the average. But of course, the best is none.
Yeah, well. And it all depends on how good you are at dealing with those Blizzard attack patterns. Because I know that I usually don't get 3 hits on every pattern. I get like 3 hits on the first, and then if he does another one, I might be screwed. Alright, so into plant stage, another stage that kills runs, kills everything.
Plant is one of the hardest stages to learn in all the 46 robots. There's a lot of little things that you need to do to go fast in.
Yeah, and it's not like you could even like just do a slightly slower strat and feel safe.
Yeah, it doesn't care.
No, Plant Man stage is unforgiving. So here, these guys have like 24 HP, so if you use the Buster against them, you would have to hit them 24 times. But thankfully, the Flame Blast does 4 damage against most normal enemies. So you can take them down in only 6 hits each, which is just within the realm of like possibility for a single jump.
Yeah, the doing it with a single jump, though, requires you to be a certain distance away from him, the gorilla, so that you can actually cause a small bit of lag to do it. It is possible to do it a little closer than that and not have the lag, but it's a lot harder to do it that way. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the plant forms. You saw one plant form jump there.
Yeah, he kind of baited us with it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to do
like, oh, he's
forms.
doing it.
And then he's like, no, I'm not.
That's
Alright, so he's swapping back to Flame here. Normally, if you were to do the non-plant form strat, you would do this section with the Buster, which is a little bit tougher to do.
But what we mean by plant forms is those platforms right there. As you can see, you can shoot them with Buster. If you want to save a couple of seconds, you don't swap at all, and you just jump off of them. You jumped off of the first one. Now, what that means is you have to jump off of those with only 4 frames. Otherwise, you fall straight through them. And that's only if you're standing there. If you're actually moving left or right, it reduces it down to 2 frames. Not used to them. Nega's almost done with Flame Man stage here.
Yeah. Got a good pace for both players here. I blanked for a couple moments. Did he get 6-hit cycle?
He did not. I'm not sure if he even went for the setup on it. You can. I was looking at Flame Man stage at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I know that he didn't get it. For Plant Man and with a couple of other bosses, but Plant specifically, we can do it 100% of the time. If you stand on a certain hitbox, or excuse me, pixel within their hitbox, it confuses the game because it doesn't know where Mega Man is at, the boss doesn't. And so they just run around the bottom of the screen without doing any other action, and you can just repeatedly hit them. However, this only works if their next action is a run cycle. So given that Plant Man guarantees a run cycle in his animations, we can do that every time. It is possible to do it with Blizzard and Nightman as well. However, you just have to get lucky for that, and it rarely happens.
Alright, so Tomahawk stage is kind of a break stage, if you ask me anyways.
I agree with that.
After the insanity that is Plant Man stage, there's some intensive mashing at the very beginning, but other than that, everything goes pretty smooth sailing. You get to abuse Flame Blasts, incredible damage.
Did that flame go on the inside of that wall on Nega stream? I'll have to go back and look at that. That was weird.
Alright, so this sub is kind of annoying. When it changes directions, it has a tendency to like cancel your slides.
Yeah. If you're fast enough, you can make it underneath all these spikes and everything without stopping. However, again, the submarine can cancel your slides out, and there's a pit that sometimes you fall into without, you can't do anything about, so you just kind of have to hope that you get through that.
negaZeus a little bit low on HP coming into this fight. It should be okay, but... Alright. A pretty ho-hum fight for enemy on this Tomahawk Man. Still maintaining that 2-stage lead. That might be decisive at this point, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. Got 2 rolls. Ooh.
He can't really take another hit, can he?
No, he cannot.
Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. This always happens when I commentate a match.
Commentator's curse.
I say something. It's like... In the Mega Man X tournament, my commentary curses were legendary. They were like literally the stuff of myth.
You got him to do it from that?
I would say something like, "Oh man, this match is pretty well decided unless somebody takes a bad death in a game over at Rang to Bangda, which is like a 2-minute time loss." And then somebody does it! It's like, what? How is that even possible? Anyways, so, I'm gonna apologize for
not
that
commentate
one.
any
It's
more of these.
probably my fault.
I can't actually promise that.
Sorry?
I said I promise we'll have Fatso not commentate any more of these, but I can't actually promise that.
I just thought it was really funny.
Meanwhile, Yamato stage.
Yeah, Yamato stage.
It's a really, really easy stage, honestly. You just slide through a few parts, go to the jet here. We actually do take the beat path letter. Mega Man 6 does have beat as well, but he's useless, so don't bother with him. But we do take the beat path on this level because it's 4 screens shorter. Even with, having to swap to jet for it and everything, it's a lot faster than going through the other one.
Alright, so we'll see if we're making our boy Fast at CC proud here. Oh, so far it doesn't look like it. Oh! One hit, I don't think that's enough.
No, and he dodged. He made some really clutch dodges there, so no, I wouldn't say that was a fast fight. TC fight, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized how that sounded.
How could it not be a fast fight? All right. So negaZeus coming into this really dangerous last section of plant coming up pretty soon. I'm not going to say any more than that.
We'll see how he does.
An interesting early swap to Flame Blast here. Normally you wouldn't use this weapon at all in the stage, but I guess he's trying to make these mole tanks a little easier. Ooh.
I was gonna say he's gonna do that. I bet. Ooh, that's
jumped a little short there.
Yeah, or a little.
You kind of have to balance. You kind of have to balance. You want to do a short jump so that you get under the spikes, but you don't want to do such a short jump that you fall onto the spikes as well. So, oh, see, there's the other mistake. Okay.
Too high. Yep.
All right, negaZeus taking it nice and safe in this last screen.
Getting through it's all that matters. Looks like he's just gonna wait for the ceiling this time.
So Blizzard Attack is a weapon.
A really laggy weapon.
It's definitely a weapon, and of all the weapons I've ever used in Mega Man games, it's one of them.
Yes, I agree with that.
So yeah, it kind of starts behind you, and takes a long time to start moving forward. And Plant Man, if you're doing a sort of normal fight, like a non-speedrun fight, is probably going to be vulnerable only for a little bit at a time. So it's really critical to kind of get right into Plant Man's face, turn around, and then use the Blizzard Attack. Oh no, that's a... Oh, never mind. What am I talking about?
Not quite.
I thought it was a game over. But
I did too, but no.
I looked at the death on enemy screen, and then I looked to the right, and I saw the game over screen. But it was actually...
Good timing.
That's my fault. That's funny. Alright. Let's see if we can get a good Mad Nerd kill here. No, he's just gonna do slow strats. Cool.
Oh, interesting though. He fell into the pit at first. If he had actually shot there, he could have gotten the easy Mad Nerds. You can shoot it down there and then jump up, and that way you already have one shot on that one as you go down. Good Nightman pattern. You just stayed on the ground. That's what you want him to do. He tends to jump very high, again with a weapon that you can't hit him with. So you hope that he just stays along the ground.
Alright, so it's just one stage left to go.
Still, honestly, this was a really close race, only being 3.5 stages behind.
Yeah.
In the end.
Especially, like, a really good recovery by negaZeus. Yeah.
Taking some slower buster strats here on the first screen of Centaur, which, you know, if you're not used to him, you know, that's totally fine. Centaur is easily one of the hardest stages to learn in Mega Man 6. A lot of really awkward jumps that you have to make.
Kind of at the last moment getting that tomahawk kill there.
Yeah, as long as he gets it, that's what matters.
Yeah. Alright. So, this room with the water ceiling can be kind of difficult to deal with at times, but it looks like he's just gonna do normal, like, yeah, okay, so he's gonna wait another full cycle of this ceiling here. Just to make sure he gets along. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna do it when you're in voice.
This guy. Note to everyone that is
like you could touch me like over the internet right now. I'm not gonna call it a. Anyways, so
anyways, back to
yeah. So this this stage, most of the if he can get past this room right here, which is deceptively difficult, then most of the challenge is done for the rest of this run, and he should be able to coast into victory.
Yeah, once you know how to fight Centaur, it's not hard. If you don't know how to fight Centaur, then it's hard. But Centaur can do a few things. He can either charge at you, he can fire at you, or he can teleport.
Oh, or he can use a
Centaur
or
he can
flash,
use a Centaur flash. Oh, he actually had it happen.
All right. Enemy finishing.
Time.
According to RaceBot, he has a 20202.
It's a good time.
It's a good time.
Didn't really ask for much more than that. But for the longest time, we didn't know what caused Centaur to actually do the flash. But thanks to another runner, Raiden the Quick, he dug into the code and found that it's based on whether you or Centaur Man are in invincibility frames. So if one of you is invincibility frames, he will never, ever throw out the flash. But if one of you isn't, then... but if neither of you are, then he will, guaranteed. It was actually kind of funny because for the longest time we would always just say, if you're good, you'll never get flashed, but we don't know why. So just be good. Like we don't know why. Like you get flashed if you're bad. We just don't know why.
Get good. It's kind of like avoiding the Gemini softlock, except we still haven't figured that one out.
Yeah, no. That one is mind-blowing. Two stages left here. This is actually getting in quickly to do the small hop to do the ceiling skip, but I'm not sure he was going for it anyway. He did, however, switch to Yamato Spear early, which allowed him to. I guess I'm a. Oh, darn! I guess I'm slightly behind you, but swapping the Yamato Spear early allows him to kill that shield enemy earlier on, because it pierces shields.
He's got a problem with his ammo at this point.
Yeah, part of what happened right there is Yamato's Spear actually travels at two different trajectories. It'll give a slight up or slight downward slant to it when you fire. So if you're on the wrong one, you can actually, depending on what your distance is, you can miss the side of the barrel to make those enemies appear and kill them.
Alright, so having some fun in the bouncy castle here. Mega Man 6 has the best room names, I gotta say. Alright, there we go. Enemy.
Enemy getting hit.
Going back and getting that Dark Crystal Warp.
He totally did it, see? No time lost. Not as good of a Nightman fight, just because he gave a lot of high jumps there, but I mean, not hard either necessarily.
Alright, so just one more Robot Master left to go for negaZeus here. He's put up a pretty good show.
Indeed. Going for the plant strats. Few people will do this. Makes this first screen a lot easier to go through, but it is slower because you do have a couple of extra screen or pauses that you have to do.
Oh, he's gonna go for Buster in the middle here as well. So that's an extra pause on top of the extra pause.
Yep. Yeah, some people will go for, myself included, will swap to night earlier in the stage for this underwater room, which is really up to preference, but in this case here where he swapped to plant, it probably would have been better to go for night, just so that he didn't have to swap again. But, do whatever's more comfortable for you. That's the better thing overall.
Yeah. Alright, here we go. Bam. Enemy nailing that Crystal Warp again. I always find it so hard to kill that top sub there. You have to jump like slightly higher than you think you should.
I guess I couldn't say since this is my game, so I'm used to it. It's one of those things I just don't notice.
Yeah, so he should be through now. This should be the end.
And before you curse him again. Let's hope not. Right at the very end.
That would be uniquely awful of me.
Yes. It's a flash, though.
Oh! Two of them.
Indeed.
Looks like he's got this now. Just one teleport. Okay, there we go. RaceBot reporting 20809. Sorry, 20849 for negaZeus.
Good game to both runners.
Good game. Okay.
And congratulations to Enemy there for winning.
Yeah, Enemy's got the win. I'm not sure where that puts his pool. I think he won all of his... No, sorry, he lost against Darko, but he might have won all of his other matches. Let's see. Oh, looks like this might have been his second match? I don't know. Like, the challenge is so far behind.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's kind of tough.
Well, he is the one running the tournament, so I guess you could ask him.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if you have any closing comments. I don't really have any closing comments. I think this was a pretty good race, and I'm happy to have commentated it.
Yeah, same here. I noticed that you were doing it alone. I was like, I should drop in there.
Thanks, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. I had the time. But yeah, I guess that's it for us. You all have a great evening. Or day, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah, thanks again. And thanks to Feasel, because, like, the guy is tireless. He's a machine. He's been running all of these streams, plus all of the other speed gaming stuff at the same time, often.
Oh my goodness.
Nowhere close to all the streams for this one. We've had a lot of great people step in. Mr. Cab did some today. Chelney last night did the 3 a.m. one, which was excellent. So, lots of help on these.
Even still, though, we appreciate what you do.